These fools, they'll never learn.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Foo for Thought Fight Bites. This is going to be a regular series where I have a chat with numerous people, hopefully, about particular fight scenes, maybe, fight scenes, maybe introduce them to a new fight scene they haven't seen before. We're going to get into the ins and outs, and this week, my interviewee is my Foo for Thought podcast co-host,
That's right.
Devan, otherwise known as my wife.
That's me. Hi.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yes, I'm glad. I think I'm introducing you to a fight scene you haven't seen before.
Correct.
Yep, awesome. I do like the idea that you haven't seen this before, and I think it's an interesting one to talk about. So we are going to be talking about actually 2 fight scenes this week, or this episode. We are going to be talking about the Donnie Yen versus Wu Jing fight from SHA Po Lang, a.k.a. SPL, a.k.a. Killzone. And we're also going to be talking about the Donnie Yen versus Sammo Hung fight from the same film. So we're going to be discussing a few of those and basically breaking it down. I've got a few interesting comments about it, I think, and I think we should be able to fuel an interesting conversation. So I'd like to kick off with the obvious thing.
Yes.
How do you feel about the fight scene?
How do I feel? Both of them. We're talking about or are we going to start with one?
Oh, do you want to start with one, then move on to the other?
I thought that would be better.
Sure. Let's start with the Wu Jing and Donnie Yen one.
Okay. Very good. I would say I like that one the most.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was very fast paced. It was very, I don't know if chaotic is the right word.
I think chaotic is a perfect
chaotic,
word.
Very chaotic. The baton.
Mm-hmm.
I was at first a little skeptical, but then again, Donnie Yen makes everything look really good. So I don't know why I would have.
Well,
why I was skeptical.
We've recently seen the baton in Bloodhound on Netflix.
Yes.
That was used, and it looked really, really good there. And
Yeah.
I think this is kind of the cream of the crop when it comes to baton fights.
It was very good.
Yeah. I think there's also something, even if you don't love batons, there's something always very exciting about when someone in a film goes and it flicks out.
Yeah.
Because you know shit's about to go down.
Right.
And I think that's very, very exciting.
And then also, I guess I was wondering, like, how much damage can he really do? I mean, obviously, you can bop. You can hit people with them.
Yeah.
But obviously, the other guy had a knife, and I was like, how much damage can you really do with a baton? You can do a lot.
Well, coincidentally, though, he does do damage with the baton, but ultimately, it's the knife that kills the guy.
Yeah.
Now, you don't know much about Wu Jing, the other fighter. For the Food for Thought podcast,
I thought he looked familiar, but I don't know what else I've seen him in.
So I was thinking, I don't think we've done a Wu Jing film for the podcast, from what I recall. But you may have seen him in the third Mummy film.
No.
Okay. Also, you may have seen him in the trailer for The Meg 2 that's coming right around the corner. He's actually in that.
I feel like I probably saw him in a kung fu film that we watched or something else. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, he was very good.
You did. You did. But it wasn't for the podcast.
Right.
It was when me and you watched Shaolin. He's in Shaolin.
Aha. That's it.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
That's
Go on. Go on, you can do it.
Shit.
You can do it.
Is it Andy or Tony?
It is Andy.
Andy
Lau.
Andy Lau. That's him. Yeah, okay.
And
that's
also a little cameo from Jackie Chan.
Yes. That's where I've seen that guy.
So the interesting thing about this particular fight scene is no rehearsals.
Really?
Yeah, they met on the day and made it all up as they went along.
Oh, shit.
So, like, when you see, Keanu Reeves rehearsing for a week, a month, 6 months for particular fight scenes, this one, they met on the day and they just went at it.
Is this fight scene, like, sped up?
That's a really good question.
They're moving. It's very fast. It's hard to kind of keep track of all of their movements.
Do you know what? That's a damn good question. If anyone out there knows whether this was sped up or not, I'm not entirely sure. I think I think
I was wondering. I feel proud of myself for asking that
spotting
question.
that.
Or not spotting because I don't know if I'm right, but
Okay.
just like it seems like they're moving incredibly fast, and it was very hard to keep track of all the movements and where like their weapons were going.
I agree. I agree. Let's be honest. A lot of kung fu films are sped up.
Right.
More so the old school ones. But I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Just curious.
I would like to say yes because I just feel like that's the case,
Right.
but I don't know.
Right.
So in my opinion, well, actually, I'll save that opinion because I have an opinion about this entire film
Hmm.
and the fight scenes in this film, and I will talk about that in a bit when we talk about the Sammo Hung fight scene.
All right.
So I love this fight. I think it's really, really good. I think it's one of the best modern weapon fights that we have seen.
Okay.
My
Interesting.
only issue, I think, sometimes they zoom in a little bit and it's a lot of flailing limbs.
Exactly. That's what I felt like, which is
Yeah.
why I asked if the fight scene was sped up.
Yeah, sometimes there's a few too many zoom-ins, but I think there's some decent moves. There's, the one where Wu Jin kind of drops the knife, catch it with his
Yes,
other hand, and
absolutely.
continues to fight.
Absolutely.
I do love that. The fight scene was choreographed by Donnie Yen.
Not surprised.
So yeah, not surprised there. And yeah, I just think it's a really, really good fight scene, and it showcases. I think it was the beginning of showcasing what Donnie could really do.
Okay.
And we're gonna kind of jump into the Sammo Hung fight for a second.
Okay.
So how do you feel about that one?
Um, it was good, but yeah, like I said, I liked it less. I think Samo is great. Obviously, he's an older gentleman at this point, though I don't know how old he is. So, obviously he had
60s?
a double.
Now,
Yeah.
let me ask you questions about that.
Yeah.
How much of this fight scene is Sammo?
So I don't think it was as much as I would have preferred.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think
Obviously, like anytime he's doing like he's where Donnie is like tossing him around, obviously that's not him.
no,
No.
100%.
Yeah.
I liked to think back in the day, I was just like, oh, this is Sammo doing all this. And I think maybe I was a bit naive. Because watching it now, and granted, I will admit, I have not seen this fight for a long time.
Mhm.
It's been a while. I haven't watched this. I haven't watched this film in years, maybe since it even came out on DVD. Watching it now, I was surprised how much isn't Sammo.
Yeah.
I like what they do. They do a very, very
They
clever
do.
filming technique, in my opinion. What they do, when it kicks off, it's all Sammo.
Yeah.
It's all Sammo
Of
handwork.
course.
And when you see that, you're like, oh, Sammo's doing a great job. And then they set you up to think it's Sammo and then hit you hard with the double.
Yep.
The double, who, by the way, I will say this, is padded very well.
Yes.
He looks like Sammo. He's got
Yes.
the build of Sammo.
Yes.
I just don't know who it is.
Right. Yeah. And so I mean, but yeah, he's older at this point, so how much could he actually do? So it makes sense.
Yeah,
But
that's
a
very
part
true.
of me was just like, oh man.
Yeah. I know. I get you. I get you. I mean, yeah, like I said, he probably was in his 60s. So yeah, we can't expect him to
Of course.
tumble and fall and
Right.
do flips and stuff.
Right.
So what about the style of martial arts in this fight scene? Like, I have an opinion. So if it wasn't for this film
Hmm.
and its action,
Hmm.
we would not have John Wick.
I would say, I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say compared to the first fight scene, this one is definitely obviously more brutal.
Yes, certainly. Although the first one's pretty brutal when he's stabbing him and cutting his stomach.
Well, sure, but I mean, like, but that was lots of weapons. This one is more
Yeah.
like fisticuffs.
Yes. So in my opinion, so what happened, or what I think, right, is Donnie Yen choreographed SPL, and everyone looked at some of the moves are very MMA, right? They're very mixed martial arts.
Yes.
There's a lot of like trips and grappling and
Right.
holding.
Right.
And when this when this film came out and people looked at the fight scenes, they all went, including myself, this is crazy bananas. We've never seen anything like this. This is opened the door to modern fight scenes changing. And then of course, Donnie took that and went, oh, you like that shit? And then he made Flashpoint. And Flashpoint, of course, we all know, has one of the greatest final fight scenes of all time. Features a lot of MMA style choreography. And I think if it wasn't for that being the very small snowball that ran down the hill and basically became the giant ball, which is John Wick, I don't think we would have gotten John Wick. Maybe eventually we would have gotten there. Maybe there were some other people kind of doing the same thing, but I have a feeling that it wouldn't have been the case.
Okay.
Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Off the back of that.
Yes.
What type of choreography do you prefer? Do you prefer this style, or do you prefer John Wick?
What's the difference?
Interesting. Okay, it's interesting that you should say that.
What's
so
the
you
difference?
tell me, what is the difference? Is there a difference in your eyes?
I mean, there's a lot of hand to hand. There can be a lot of grappling, but then with John Wick, there's also a lot of like gun work in it too.
Okay, take the gun work out of it. Take the hand-to-hand stuff. Oh, no, it's hard to say that because
Right.
John Wick has a lot of gun stuff.
Right.
So this is very much like a in my opinion, the fight scenes that we saw today have, even though they're chaotic, they have more rhythm to them. They have more, I don't know how to explain it, I just use stupid sound effects to explain it. They have more bap, 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 whereas John Wick is kind of scrappy.
Okay.
This is chaos with rhythm.
Okay.
John Wick's very like scrappy and very throw you and grapple and judo flip you and blah blah blah. But everything in SPL and Flashpoint as well, even though it's scrappy and chaotic, it's very polished. It looks very polished and captured perfectly. Not that I'm saying John Wick films aren't captured perfectly, but you know what I mean?
I think the difference is maybe, I guess, the world or the John Wick movies in general, because I mean, I think this, like Donnie, it's more, like you said, this film is more stylized, where I think John Wick is just like most effective, get it done quick and move on.
Does
that make sense?
No, I'm absolutely with you. Yes, I agree. I think I was shocked, actually, now that I come to think of it, I was shocked at how long the Donnie Yen Wu Jing fight is. Because I think I'm so used to watching John Wick with him dispatching people, even when it's John Wick in a quote unquote boss fight. They're relatively short.
Yeah.
I feel. But the Wu Jing versus Donnie Yen, very long, very intricate, very also chaotic, and just lasts, I don't know the time on it, it's probably like 3 minutes, but it feels very long.
Yeah.
Whereas, John Wick fights feel a lot shorter.
They're much more direct.
Yeah, to the point, right?
Yes, to the point.
And that's
that
John
is,
Wick.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's not going to spend a lot of time. He was just like to kill you in the least amount of time possible and fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. But some part of me does want to take a step back from the John Wick style choreography and lean more towards this style. Well, preferably we'd lean more towards the old school style. I'm a big old school guy. But there's something in me that really wants to see more of this style from Donnie Yen.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, I appreciate everything. I even appreciate the Ip Man films. They're great, but I'd love for him. And he has done a number of films like this. He's done, you get SPL, you get Flashpoint, and there's a film called Special ID, where he does this kind of stuff. But I would like to see, for me, the John Wick choreography is getting a little bit tired.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that.
That's why I'm interested to see what they do with Ballerina.
Right.
Because we never know what's gonna come out when it comes to Ballerina, because someone else is directing it. Len Wiseman is doing it, who's the director of
Why does that name sound familiar? What's he done?
Len Wiseman. He did the Underworld films.
Right.
And he did the Total Recall remake.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's going to be doing that, and I'm interested to see how much he borrows from the John Wick style to put in Ballerina.
Gotcha.
But I'd love to see Donnie Yen do kind of more and more of his style. I think I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
I'd like to see more and more of this. He kind of founded the SPL Flashpoint style, and I'd like to see him do more of that. And he just did his own film, Sakura, if anyone's seen it, and Sakura is kind of like this style meshed with modern wuxia style, and I think that definitely is going somewhere. I think he's definitely doing the right thing, but I'm very interested to see what he does with Flashpoint 2. That's the big one, right? Flashpoint 2 is on the horizon, and I'd love to see what he comes out with, whether he takes it back to the Flashpoint SPL style, or whether he continues with maybe the John Wick style. But we didn't need to. I've got to edit this out now.
No, you don't. I didn't know that. My fault.
So we are new to this, everyone. Just saying, we are completely new to this, and yeah, we are working with new equipment. Hence why I have a laptop
I thought we
on my
skipped
lap.
a step. I'm
And
sorry.
she thought we didn't hit record, basically, and
But we did.
we did.
Sorry.
Yes.
I got scared. I got genuinely scared. Like, oh no.
That's a good point, because we're actually editing this in real time. So, like, when you see this, which is a clip that, of Sammo Hung dying, it's the same one that I showed before. But if you see this, okay, we're editing this in real time, so literally I'm not splicing these clips in after we finished filming. I'm splicing them in as we talk. Hence why I have a laptop on my lap. Oh, I'm talking to the camera, but you can't see me because a video clip is playing. So hence why I have a laptop on my lap. I'm editing this all in real time. So if you ever see us kind of look at each other and go, push that button, it's because we don't do any editing after the fact. So
We're not that skilled.
We're not that skilled yet. We're working on it with a brand new system. We're going to drop the ball. We're going to worry every now and again. So that's why Devan just worried and thought that I didn't hit record, because I hit record on the laptop, but I didn't hit record on some equipment over here that we...
Well, we don't need to do that. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Let's go ahead and wrap it up on that note. I think this is a great introduction. I mean, the fight scenes we watched, I think it's a great way of introducing people to modern Chinese Hong Kong fight choreography. But of course, I think Flashpoint is an evolution of that. So, but you'd like it. What would you give the fight scenes out of 10?
What would my rating be out of 10?
Yeah, you can give them individual ratings or together.
Individual, 100%.
Yeah.
The first one, I would give it maybe 7.5, 8.
That's high.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. It was a little too chaotic, and then, like you said, moving it was just like limbs flailing sometimes. So I think it was just a little
bit of that,
a little too fast.
A little bit of that.
The second one, I'd give maybe a 7.
Okay, both high though.
Yeah, 6.5, 7.
They're both high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, good job. Yeah, I don't think we'll be covering SPL for the podcast at any point. Especially since you've seen the fight scenes, I just don't think so. But yeah, there we have it. Fight Bites episode 2. Sorry for the technical issues, but I hope you enjoyed our conversation about this film. We very much enjoyed talking about it. More episodes to come. We're really looking forward to talking about more. I will say that on some episodes, you're going to get interesting guests, is what I tried to say. You're going to get interesting guests from the martial arts cinema community. And I think sometimes you'll be stuck with either this one, Cyrus from the podcast, or maybe me on my own. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
You never know.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching, not listening. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And please like, share, subscribe.
Yes, please.
Please subscribe. We'd
share us with your friends.
Yeah, please do. We would absolutely love that. And until next time, I know that's not what we do. Okay, we will catch you
next time.
That's right. There we go.